All right, what's up, guys? Today I'm going to go over a weekly outlook of what to expect for the week upcoming from the 16th to the 20th. So let's go ahead and get started. Last week, we put the market kind of back into a neutral to uptrend again, right on the 11th, getting over the 21-day moving average. Now on the 15th, or on the 16th, tomorrow, will be day three of our uptrend in our trend journal. Right now, we're kind of going sideways, up and down around the moving averages. So it's just going to kind of go back and forth between up and down, and that's what it's been doing. So let's go ahead and get into the NASDAQ and check it out. So first and foremost, we are coming up and kind of creating fair value gaps as we are getting pushed through and out after we filled this level here. We tapped the 200-day moving average, and now we're creating fair value gaps to the upside. We have this larger fair value gap from the 11th, and that's what broke the 21-day moving average. So we're putting on our 21-day. And so I'd like to see this 21-day hold, or if it does not come into this fair value gap, hold and then see how we react from there. We also created a smaller fair value gap right here from the previous day as well. So there's a smaller fair value gap from Thursday that we're going to see how we react on it the first couple days. I'm not really expecting too crazy of a move for this upcoming week. We do have triple witching, which is when futures expire, you got VIX expiring, and then you have stock options expiring all at the same time. And usually what that does is create for a very choppy week and it kind of just closes where it's at. Friday in particular will, for me, be a no trade day. Triple witching, from my experience, has been one of the most boring trading days there is, so I tend to just try to avoid it altogether. So the next few weeks I do expect, or this next week I do expect to be more choppy, and that's kind of what we're seeing with our moving averages as well. We're just barely above the 50-day moving average. We are barely above the 21-day moving average. It's starting to point. The 50-day is kind of moving down to the downside still, but we did create a higher low and we did bounce off the 200-day moving averages. So two good things that we are seeing, but then also some red flags where with the where's my arrow? The volume here kind of pushing down as it's going to the upside. So if we do get a pullback here and then a good push back up, I want to see heavy volume, low volume on the pullback, and then heavy volume on the push up. What we also have this week is we have FOMC, and that's going to kind of be the main thing, FOMC, and then also I think we have some sort of jobless claims, which isn't too bad. Lately, jobless claims has been moving the market though. So if we go to Wednesday, we have FOMC at 2 p.m. Eastern right here. And then we have, that would be 11 a.m. Pacific time. So we do have FOMC on Wednesday. And then the rest of the week is kind of, we do then triple witching. And then the rest of the week is kind of basic and not crazy for the news coming up. So not expecting a crazy volatile week here. This fair value gap that we were looking at on the daily chart is right at the 200 EMA on the 4 hour for NASDAQ. So that's one thing where I want to see this 200 EMA get held, see how we react as support of that, and then see if we can push up to, let me get rid of these other moving averages, get rid of those two, push up to these equal highs here. There's a very easy target that if we do get some bullish order flow, come back through here, get a good push, we have clean highs right here at 19,702 to 19,681, kind of that 20-point range where we have very clean relatively equal highs on the 4 hour, and then you can also see them on a daily and any other time frame below a 4 hour as well. So if we do pull back a little further than this 200 EMA, I would expect to hold inside of one of these moving averages here. This is the daily moving average, so ideally we'd hold this base moving average, this first fair value gap right here. So that would be holding this level somewhere around there. or even just some in this zone. So if we do kind of push back past this 200 EMA, we would get a from the 4 hour, we would could get a push back down for another 300 points or so. Ideally, we're just probably going to be a little more choppy and in this range for this week, probably a 500 point range, somewhat something like that. And that would be half the range of last week, which would be very good as well. Just kind of a consolidation week to let things catch up. Then next, if we go to the ES, ES is damn near at its all-time highs still. It's looking stronger than Nasdaq in my opinion. It's above its 50-day. It's almost to these clean equal highs as well. And on the daily chart, it does have these fair value gaps that it's creating as it's pushing up, creating coming into. So Nasdaq didn't have any fair value gaps here. Very good that it was coming into. The ES came into this fair value gap right here, and now we're creating fair value gaps, inverting other fair value gaps as we're pushing up. So my first target would be this 56, 6, 7, and then second target for the ES would be all-time highs. This is looking much, much stronger than the Nasdaq. GC, so gold, last week we said we were talking about in the Discord, we were talking about expecting it to get to this 1605 level. So how I caught that was just it's a measured move, one standard deviation from these lows to these highs. And that half standard deviation was the 1610. And so the next level that we would be looking for would be this uh 2697. So 2610 was the first target. And next we would go to the one standard deviation for a complete measured move to like pretty much 2700. And so that could take longer. That could take a while. Gold likes to kind of consolidate, so it could kind of pull back into this volume imbalance, roughly 2580, 2570, and then see consolidate and then push back up. DXY hasn't really done too much. We did invert this fair value gap here, and we're holding this inverted fair value gap. So if this holds and pushes to the upside, then we have clean equals highs here to go to and then see how we react at this next fair value gap. If this doesn't hold and we continue lower, then we could see it push down into this this 996. So right here down at this low. And so that would be what I'm looking at for DXY. We are holding this fair value gap here. So if we come up and take this equal high and then hold this fair value gap and hold the 200 EMA on the weekly, then we could see another push back down to the downside on DXY. Next for SMH, this is going to be the semiconductor. This is really how I can tell how strong the NASDAQ is a lot of times. So when the SMH is outperforming, the NASDAQ is going to outperform the ES or the YM much better itself. So the SMH is above its 21-day moving average, but consistently below its 50-day moving average. So again, this week I'm not looking for too much, but in the long run, if it can get above this 25, 253, 255 level, then I would be looking for it to come back up to these all-time highs. But for right now, it needs to get above the 200, the 50-day. The 50-day needs to start going sideways or and turning to the upside because right now it is curling down still, and the 21 EMA is kind of just barely going to the upside. It's just barely even curved that way, which isn't that convincing itself. That can change very, very fast, as you can see here. So SMH, in order to really see the Nasdaq start outperforming and looking to the go to the upside, we want to see semiconductors and SMH continue and work to start outperforming. Because if you look at the YM here, this looks like it's pretty much at all-time highs, and it looks like it's going to continue and break out to new all-time highs. We have fair value gap here. We came into, held that fair value gap, got a shakeout manipulation here, and now we're creating fair value gaps to the upside. This first target would be 41646, and then most likely going to continue higher. You'd probably do a measured move from here to here, and that would half standard deviation 43162 if we get a good push with displacement up. So the Dow looking stronger, looking like the strongest index right now compared to the Nasdaq and the ES. So that's what I got for today for you guys for the daily outlook. for the weekly outlook. Try to keep it a little shorter this time. So if you want to trade with me live, I am trading live every single day in Playbit. I probably will not be trading live this Friday, but we go live for our free members on Monday. So every Monday you can trade with me live, even if you are not in the Discord. And then if you want to join the Discord, feel free to join the Discord and you can watch me trade live and you can trade with me live every single day. So I appreciate you guys. I'm going to put the link for that and the coupon code to go to, and the coupon code for that for 25% off. And we'll see you guys on Monday. I appreciate it. Enjoy the rest of